Alright troops, it's your man Chris Scullion from Tired Old Hack here with what I believe is a world exclusive. I've traipsed up and down the internet, the old information superhighway, and nowhere on cyberspace can I find what you're about to see. There have been the odd kind of videos from trade shows and the like, but this is the first time, as far as I'm aware, you're ever going to get a full review of the first 6 figures in the Totaku line. Now, for those not familiar with it, Totaku are a series of figures that are coming out. They're starting end of March, I believe. And these are the first ones. Now, they've been kind of mistakenly reported by some as PlayStation figures. That's not actually the case. One of the figures that will be coming out is based on Sea of Thieves, the Xbox game. So these are more just video game figures rather than PlayStation figures specifically. But these are the first 6. And I've been given permission from the fine folks at Game, where you'll be able to buy these, to open these up. Now, I don't get to keep these, so don't start worrying about corruption and the like. These are going back to Game. These are, from what I've been told, these are the only kind of samples they have, which is why I'm assuming this is some sort of world exclusive, because, like I say, you can't find this review won't be found anywhere else, certainly first. To the best of my knowledge, these are the only ones Game have, and once I've reviewed them, I've need to kind of try and put them back in their boxes and send them back. But don't worry, I've been given permission to open them, so don't be too worried when that happens. So here we go, this is number 1 to 6, I'll bring them over. We've got Sackboy from LittleBigPlanet, the man himself. I'll be taking him out later, sorry if it's a wee bit dark, but we'll try and work with that. It's Sackboy. We've got a ship from WipEout, the old Feisar FX 350 from WipEout, classic. We have Crash Bandicoot, of course. The Boljin, he's back with his remastered game. We've got Heihachi Mishima from Tekken 7. Very nice. We have the Hunter from Bloodborne. Excellent. And finally we have the greatest man who ever lived. The beat dropping beagle, PaRappa the Rapper. You've got to believe that this is my favourite. So here we go. I'll take these out. What we'll do is we'll crack these open and we'll look at them one at a time. And yeah, we'll give them a wee gander in detail, won't we? And see if they're any good. So let's get cracking. Right, first of all, before we get started, I want to show you briefly the packaging these come in. I've taken the WipEout one out of his box. This is a WipEout packaging. You get your Feisar FX 350 shenanigans going on here. The ship was in here, the WipEout ship. I've taken it out now. Done my best to kind of keep it looking okay, because obviously these are going back to Game once I'm done with them. So that's that. On the back, there's a bit that says first edition. There will be, these are like first edition ones. The press release when they first were announced said that each one would have like a special mark on it, which would make it ideal for collectors apparently. Now I don't know if that's all it means, or if there's something on the figures themselves. I suppose we'll soon find out. But on the back you've got a cheeky wee character profile there of what the ship does, what the game it was first in when it first came out, what it does. You've got it in various languages, because this is obviously the European version. Presumably the North American version will have different languages, and obviously I believe they're coming out. They may be coming out in Japan as well, which obviously be in Japanese. But there we go. That's your Feisar FX 350 WipEout, number 2 in the Totaku series. So yeah, it's sort of like you can see what the packaging is like. They come in a cool wee kind of, this kind of amiibo style where they come in these wee things. But there's like artwork in the back, which is quite cool from the game. But yeah, that is what it is. That is what you would expect. But that's the packaging. Let's actually get on to the figures now. Right, let's start off with the Hunter from Bloodborne, because admittedly Bloodborne is the one series here that I'm not that familiar with. Obviously I'm familiar with it, I know what it is, but I haven't never really been a Dark Souls man or anything. Bloodborne is the only game of these 6 figures I've got that I've never played. So let's kind of deal with that one first, because that's the one I'll probably be able to give you least information on. First of all, the important thing to note is that it stacks up almost the same height as a can of Iron Brew Extra multi-pack can, but I should stress that those are similar in dimensions to your normal can you buy from your local boutique. Speaking of which, I could do with a drink of this delicious beverage. Still not sponsored by Iron Brew. We'll get there. So here we go. Here's the Hunter from Bloodborne. We'll get a wee bit close. Hopefully this camera turns on its macro mode. There we go. So there's your man here. Hello everybody. Really well designed, to be honest. It's kind of nice kind of textures on the J-skit. There's his wee thing from Bloodborne, presumably, because it would be weird if it was from Ninja Gaiden, because he's not in that game. Here's his pistol. What a pistol. More of the coat and their base. They've each got their kind of own unique base. So this is kind of obviously tiles and slates and stuff, whatever you have in Bloodborne. And then underneath we've got the wee Totaku logo emblazoned on it. Made in China. Just in case you were wondering. So yeah, there we go. I can't see any kind of markings on it that would suggest it's a first edition one. Let me just have a look. Nope, I don't see anything unless there's something that I'm not noticing. But there's nothing obvious on it that suggests, as in the press release, that the first edition will have exclusive marking. It might just be that thing on the back of the box. That might be what they meant. But we'll investigate the other figures and see as well. But yeah, that is the Hunter from Bloodborne. Now, before we move on, it'd be weird not to kind of address the obvious elephant in the room, that these are quite clearly inspired, let's say, by amiibo figures. They're of a similar kind of size. So I thought it'd be worth testing these, like kind of comparing them to other amiibos, similar amiibos, just so you can kind of compare them and you can decide for yourself which appeals to you more. So in comparing the Bloodborne one, I thought, well, we need to think of someone who is similarly feared throughout the land and is similarly adept at wielding a dangerous weapon. So I've decided to compare him to Shovel Knight. Now what you'll see, which is quite surprising, because even looking at them in the box, I didn't expect this. Certainly the Bloodborne one, at least, is significantly taller than the Shovel Knight amiibo, and most amiibo are generally the same size. So these figures are kind of taller than amiibo by and large. You'll see that when we do the other comparisons as well. So that's quite impressive. Obviously these ones are varying heights, just as amiibos are, so that's not going to be the rule across the board, but certainly this Hunter from Bloodborne is taller than most amiibo that I've put it next to. I also tried it with Disney Infinity figures, so here's your man Nick Fury from Disney Infinity. They fare a wee bit better, but even so it's at an angle, so it's looking down on them, but yeah, even so you can tell there's still a height difference there. It's still bigger than Nick Fury as well. In fairness, I believe just by looking at him, the Hunter is probably the tallest of these figures, so that's maybe not a fair comparison, but we'll do more comparisons as we go along. But yeah, just as a kind of a rough gauge, it's taller than a Disney Infinity figure, certainly taller than the Shovel Knight amiibo. We'll look at more amiibo later on, and we'll see. I'll dig out the tallest amiibo I've got, and we can check for height. But certainly, if you're planning on integrating these with your amiibo, they might stand out a wee bit more. They might be a wee bit taller. That's something you might need to bear in mind. These might have to be a separate display and might not necessarily integrate with your amiibo as seamlessly as you would have hoped. But the displaying them separately will be an interesting thing, which will come to when we've looked at them all. But let's move on for now, just to crack on a bit. Right, up next is Heihachi Mishima from Tekken 7. This is another really very well detailed one. Let's get the old macro mode engaged here again. Oh, hello everyone. They've put like dirt on his arms and stuff, which is quite the touch. See, so he looks all roughed up essentially, and he's been in quite the scrap. This man, many a rave war over the years. Nice kind of detail on his on his outfit there. Even down to these wee kind of wee beasties here. So he looks the part. I'm really happy with that one. I'm a big Tekken fan, so I'm very happy that I've got a nice wee... Well, I don't have it. I'll need to buy them when they come out, but I'm very happy that there is a nice wee amiibo-sized Heihachi Mishima figure now, and there's his base. If we can stretch that out a wee bit. In the light. There we go. It's just like dirt. It's what you would expect. It's a kind of dirty, gritty, kind of concrete-y type base. And again, your usual Totaku thing emblazoned at the bottom of that one. And this is the first kind of proof that these aren't all Sony figures. Although the Hunter says at the bottom of it, copyright SIE, Sony Interactive Entertainment. Here, this is copyright Bandai Namco Entertainment. So this is the first kind of sign that these aren't all just PlayStation figures. They just happen to be figures that are all from PlayStation franchises. But obviously, we've got an Xbox one, not here, but there's a Sea of Thieves figure, so they're not all PlayStation figures. But he's not fussed. Now, for comparison purposes, again, let's compare it with an amiibo. It makes sense of all the amiibo to relive the game that was promised and never happened, which was Tekken versus Street Fighter. So let's put your man Ryu in here. And again, height difference is quite clear. Let me put them level. Yeah, there's a clear head's worth of difference there in height. So again, that's something you're going to have to bear in mind. You can't really mix and match these, have them stand next to each other and expect the right height. It's not massively different. I mean, you can stand them and it's not a massive deal, but just be aware that they're not. They have these figures haven't been made to seamlessly integrate with amiibos. They're their own thing, even though they're clearly based on amiibo. And other figures of that ilk, they're not exactly the same height, so just bear that in mind. Right, let's move on. Okay, up next is everyone's favourite Sackboy, Sackboy from LittleBigPlanet. Here he is, the big man. Now, obviously, this is going to be one of the most detailed ones you would imagine, because his face is full of the old cloth, the old textures. He's delighted, and rightly so, because they've done a very good job with him. There's some of the kind of stitching, obviously fake stitching, it's all hard plastic. They feel like amiibos, even though they're a different height. There you go, and he's obviously got a much more colourful base, all made of kind of fabric and patterns, and there's a wee button. And underneath, there we go, copyright Sony. But yeah, that's Sackboy. He looks cracking. You just zip it everything. There have been LittleBigPlanet figures before, so this is maybe a less exciting one than usual, than some of the other ones, but it's still a nice. It would be odd not to have him if you're kind of collecting these other iconic video game characters. There's no denying that he's a well loved character. Now, in terms of comparing him to an amiibo, I thought the logical one here obviously is another character made of fabric, but actually made of fabric, and that is the Yarn Yoshi. Now these ones kind of work well together. For once, the amiibo's bigger, but that's because it's a special kind of amiibo. But they kind of work well together because they both look like they're made of fabric, even though one literally is and one isn't. So yeah, there we go. That's another random pointless comparison for you to bear in mind. But at least these are pretty much the same height when you take the base into account. Yoshi's maybe a tiny wee bit taller, but sitting next to each other, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, there you go. That's another random comparison for absolutely no reason whatsoever, other than just having an excuse to get this on camera. Oh, hello. Pleased to meet you. So yeah, let's move on and look at another one. Up next is Crashly Bandicoot. Big Crashlings, the Crashmeister General, Sea Dog. Crash Bandicoot, from the popular Naughty Dog video game Crash Bandicoot TM, all rights reserved. He's quite detailed. He's got like a kind of fur texture. It's not really so great there, but yeah, you can see it here. Fur as far as the eyes can see. Even the odd little line across here, almost as if the man's showing his age. He's getting old, but there we go. You can see the intricacies of the Bandicoot form here. Oh, look at this cheeky wee monk. Hello everybody. I hope you all bought my game, the remastered one. Thanks, because it sold really well, and now everyone loves me again. Well, there we go. There's Crash Bandicoot. This is a really good one. I like this one. There's your stomach texture as well, just so you know the fur goes all the way around. Yeah, and there's his base. It's all kind of sandy, presumably based on the beach he wakes up at the start of the game. Very nice. And there's your bottom again. Activision this time. Oof. Can't believe it. There we go. There's Crash Bandicoot. Now, in terms of the comparison with an amiibo for this one, we need another figure who maybe has been underappreciated in recent years and is due a comeback, like Bandicoot recently got. And so the obvious comparison is Waluigi. And he's actually a really good match because they're almost identical in size. So it's proof that the Bloodborne one was maybe just a really tall one. These two almost look like they were made to be in the same line. You can tell by matching the bases up, they're pretty much the same height. So that works really well. They work quite well together. So yeah, there we go. And you thought the amiibo comparisons were pointless, and all of a sudden it all comes together, comes into play. They look the same size. Amazing. Okay, 2 more. Right, so WipEout ship next from WipEout, obviously. This is a really cool one because of all the amiibo, to the best of my knowledge, there's never been an amiibo based on an actual ship. So this kind of Totaku one is a kind of unique little beast, and it's got your kind of decals. It's quite well designed. It's got a slight kind of deliberate wear and tear on it. This bit looks a wee bit ropey, but actually let me look at it close up. No, that's okay. It's meant to be like that. It looked like it just been hastily scribbled, but it's designed to kind of look like that, so that's okay. That's fine. And yeah, the ship looks cool. That's obviously the view you usually get when you're playing the game, when it kind of goes around the corners like that. But yeah, it's a really nicely designed figure. It's got that kind of thing that early amiibo had when it's that kind of big clear thing that kind of has to be there to keep it in the air. And there's its base, suitably futuristic. I'm sure you'll agree, very WipEouty. And the base obviously is copyright Sony, I would imagine. Yep. There we go. It says your WipEout figure. In terms of comparison, like I say, the amiibo have never had any just vehicles, to the best of my knowledge. So the best alternative I can come up with is another figure based on a futuristic racing game, which also has a big plastic stand, and that is Captain Falcon. Show your moves. Now, again, he's obviously taller because he's a large human being and this is a ship. But it's well designed to put his leg over it and ride it about. It's the crossover everyone wanted, is Captain Falcon racing a WipEout car. So that's nice, you can do that. These two obviously don't really go together because they're totally different types of things. But don't let that alarm you. They were never kind of designed to, so that's okay. So yeah, that's a WipEout ship. One more to go, and it's my favourite one. There he is, the hero of the hour, PaRappa the Rapper. One of the greatest characters ever made. Here he is. His wee emblem on his hat sticks out a wee bit, which is nice. Doing his usual pose. His base is fantastic. It's the loading screen from PaRappa the Rapper. And again, copyright Sony, obviously. He's flat, as you would expect. Not completely flat, but obviously PaRappa in the game was totally two-dimensional. Like, it was pretty much a pixel thick. Here, obviously, he's a wee bit thicker, so he doesn't snap like a twig as soon as you play with it. Which means there's an odd kind of iffy kind of paint jobs here, just because of the way he's made. So stuff like that's a wee bit odd, and the way his hand goes over the mic at the top here looks a wee bit odd, but that's okay. It's PaRappa the Rapper. That's totally fine. The very fact that he exists is good enough for me because I've always wanted a wee PaRappa the Rapper figure. In terms of comparisons, there's only really one amiibo you can compare him with, and that, of course, is Mr. Game & Watch. And they, again, complement each other quite well. They're similar heights. There's a bit of clash going on here. Similar heights, and crucially, similar widths. They're both kind of the same kind of... PaRappa's a wee bit bendier. I don't want to bend it too much, but there's a bendiness here. He's quite rubbery. Not to a massive degree. You wouldn't want to bend it too much, but he's got a wee bit of give to him. Whereas Mr. Game & Watch is like solid plastic. He's not for bending. So yeah, there's a bendiness here that they're maybe made of a kind of slightly softer, kind of almost like a rubbery plastic, whereas these are just pure plastic. So that's the only kind of real difference I've noticed there. But yeah, other than that, that is your man PaRappa the Rapper. Now that's the 6 of them. And let me bring the other ones back. There's PaRappa. Let's get a wee wide shot going on here. You've got PaRappa, Heihachi, the Hunter, Crash. You've got Sackboy, and where is this WipEout ship? And you've got your old WipEout ship. Now, presumably, the reason the bases are like this is because I would imagine they're designed to interlink like so. So that you can create your own kind of base. I'm making a back side of this, but you get the idea. As you can see, they all kind of mash together. The bases all kind of join up. So that's quite a nice wee touch. It's obviously something you'll need to be a bit tactical with because you can't really put anything next to the Hunter because his sword gets in the way. That's the kind of design flaw. You would need to... I suppose you could do that. That kind of works. So yeah, that's something you can do, but at least that means if you buy multiple ones, the bases all interconnect so they can all stand quite close to each other, and you could eventually have a nice kind of big kind of group montage type thing with all of them joined together like that. It's all just kind of... Obviously there's a better way of doing this than I'm doing, but yeah, it's cool. It's nice. I like that. Presumably that you would originally want to just kind of line them up like that and interconnect them in that way, so they're not all kind of joined together in one big thing. And obviously the WipEout ship over here like that. But yeah, it's cool. So those are the Totaku figures. Those are the first 6 ones. I believe the first wave is also launching with the Sea of Thieves character and maybe the Ni no Kuni character. I need to double check that. But yeah, these are out in March. You can pre-order them from Game and elsewhere, I believe. But very kind of special thanks to Game for sending me these samples so that I could kind of review them for you. If you go to tyrolhack.com, there's a full written review, complete with more photos that you can kind of check out. But yeah, until then, yeah, this has been Chris Scullion for tyrolhack.com with your world exclusive first ever look at the Totaku figures. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. There's a lot more stuff like this to come in the future. Yeah, nice one. Thanks guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the flip-flop with more very soon. Please do like and subscribe to all the YouTube stuff. Please spread the word. If you enjoyed this video and you want other people to see it, please post it on your social network or discussion group of choice. The more people see this, the more likes and subscribes I get, the more companies will send me more stuff to cover like this and obviously send back because ethics in it. But yeah, so cheers for watching, and I'll catch you in the flip-flop later. Thanks guys, bye-bye.